everybody, and welcome back to another video. So this is my first reaction video on this channel. When I got this face cam app I use for my Among Us videos, I realized I can make reaction videos too. So I think that's pretty cool, you know. So today what's happening? Anyways, today I'm going to be reacting to MandJtv's top 10 worst legendary Pokemon. Now, MandJtv is a great PokeTuber. If you guys want advice on Pokemon, you should go check out his channel. He is a really great PokeTuber who gives really good opinions on a lot of things. So if you guys haven't, go check him out. So I absolutely love legendary Pokemon. They are one of my favorite things about the game. They're so cool. My three favorites are Groudon, Zygarde, and Giratina. Those are my favorites. And I'm curious to see what legendary Pokemon he thinks, or which Pokemon he thinks are the worst or stupid looking. And I'm interested to see what he says about that. So let's get straight into the video. Oh my gosh, I remember when you did that intro. Alright.
Greetings, MandJtv's!
Greetings!
Michael here, and this year is the year of the legendary Pokemon.
Yes,
a few
sir.
months ago, the Pokemon Company announced that this year they would be celebrating the power and mysticality of legendary Pokemon with monthly in-game distributions
Also,
of
this
the
video was
version
made 2 years ago, it's not
exclusives
new or anything.
and some new TCG sets. And no one really gives a crap. Okay, to be fair, some people are excited about the Shiny Zygarde distribution, the first
Shiny
legal
Zygarde,
Shiny Zygarde
yeah.
that anyone could possibly get, but
Although that's
overall
over now,
it's
so
still
why do I get
pretty
it?
underwhelming. So in the spirit of the whole event being lamer than a three-legged horse, I'm going to crap on some legendary Pokemon and talk about the top 10 worst legendary Pokemon.
Alright, let's hear them.
Technically my least favorite, but you know, if you put least favorite in the title, it just gets too wordy.
Okay, so before I go on, I just wanted to say that my two least favorite legendaries are Heatran and Landorus. Seriously, they're both really good to use in competitive, but they're so bad looking. Heatran just looks like a giant frog, and Lando looks really stupid. Especially in his Prenian form, whatever it's called. It just looks like a floating dog.
Now before we get started, I do need to clarify what definitions I will be using for what a legendary Pokemon is. So, for the purposes of this video, a legendary Pokemon is any Pokemon found on
Also, guys, this doesn't count the
webpage
new
of
Gen
the
8
official
legendaries, 'cause this
Pokemon
was made before Gen 8.
website, plus any Pokemon listed on the Bulbapedia page of mythical
look, guys, it's our boy
Pokemon.
Landorus.
So any legendary Pokemon and any
Yeah,
mythical
Zygarde,
Pokemon,
yep,
they're
these are all
all
legendaries. These are all
legendary
considered legends.
for this video. Now, before some of you
bet
get
you
all up in
Cosmo's
arms
gonna
about
be
this, allow me to explain. On the Bulbapedia page about mythical Pokemon, it says that in Japanese media, mythical Pokemon and legendary Pokemon were always classified separately as two totally separate groups.
That makes
However, in non-Japanese media, which if you didn't know is the media that I use, because I am not Japanese, they were all considered legendary Pokemon up until Generation 5. Since I got my start in the Pokemon games in Generation 3, and the anime even before that, I'm gonna stick with the classification that I grew up with, being mythical as a subset of legendary Pokemon, but they are all legendary Pokemon. Thank you very much. Also, I ran a poll about it on Twitter asking you guys whether to include mythicals or not include mythicals in this video, and including mythicals won by a lot. So if you're upset about this, remember,
there are some bad mythicals.
Secondly, while some consider Ultra Beasts to be legendary Pokemon, it doesn't appear that the Pokemon Company considers them that way, so I'm not going to be including them in this video. They are not listed on that.
I would say that I kind of classify Ultra Beasts as legendaries, but not really. They're kind of a mix of both.
Official web page of legendary Pokemon, and in the legendary Pokemon quiz, the last question is, which of these is not a legendary Pokemon? And Pheromosa is the correct answer. Also, please ignore the fact I did not get a perfect score on that quiz. I am very ashamed. Also, I realized that I just used official material to back up a classification immediately after intentionally ignoring official material But, come on guys. If I included Ultra Beasts in this list, they'd be the whole list because they're all so ugly.
Well, okay. Listen here, Mike. I gotta disagree with you. I don't think all the Ultra Beasts are ugly. I mean, sure, there are a few that are ugly. I mean, there are really some I don't like. But I think all the good bit of them are pretty good. Like, Blacephalon is my personal favorite. With Stack Attack probably second.
Except for Poipole and Naganado, they're cool. They can stay. But now that we've finally covered that extensive amount of classification, I hope you're excited for the video, guys. If you are, make sure to leave a like, subscribe to my channel if you are new. And without further ado, here are my top 10 worst legend.
So yeah, make sure you guys subscribe to MandJTV, and also make sure you subscribe to me. So, with that being said, let's continue.
Dairy Pokemon. Number 10, Suicune.
Okay,
just wait. Hear me out for just a second.
Okay.
Just hold on, okay? Here, on the screen right now, is a regular, perfectly normal Suicune. It is very cool. It is an awesome Pokemon, and some would argue the best legendary beast, which is something that I could probably agree with. But now let's...
No. Suicune's the worst legendary beast. Even though he's not particularly bad in general, I think Raikou the best one, and tastes really good too. I mean, Suicune really isn't my favorite, but I don't hate him. Let me listen to what he has to say.
Look at the shiny colorings. Here is a normal shiny Suicune.
Yeah, I'm not a fan.
Not the best shiny coloring in the world, but it looks pretty cool. Now, I got some nice different shade of blues to go along with the water typing, but here is the custom shiny Suicune that I used on my team in my Pokemon Sun and Moon randomizer shiny race Nuzlocke with A Drive last fall. And I have to say, in all honesty, this thing. Whoa. I hate this specific Suicune for a multitude of reasons. The first is that it took me an obnoxiously long amount of time to shiny hunt it, which in a playthrough that involves shiny hunting, it's kind of like, okay, give me the shiny, we need to move on and make more videos. So that was annoying, especially considering that Dan got his shiny of that round of the shiny race super freaking quickly, and I had to have another stream later in the day that night to freaking find it. And then it shows up, and it looks like this. It's rose gold.
I hate it.
Oh, yo, guys, I'm feeling pink gold peach vibes coming from this Suicune. I just realized that. Screw that sacred piece of crap. Like, seriously, who loves pink gold peach?
I'm gonna catch it anyways.
One of my least favorite colors, guys. It's so tacky. Rose gold things are incredibly tacky. You cannot change my mind about this. And so this Suicune is clearly very, very tacky. So that's what I named it. As an additional annoyance, this Suicune that I caught, its ability was electric terrain. And the types were not randomized in this randomizer, so a water type summoning electric terrain and then suddenly making the opposing electric type Pokemon very powerful meant I was never comfortable using it. So it was just, I always...
Okay, so it seems that he doesn't like Suicune because he had a bad experience with it in the randomizer Nuzlocke. I mean, I bet he would have had a perfectly normal opinion on it if, nothing like that happened, but this probably just gave him a bad experience.
Bared animosity toward it for the entire playthrough, and I still do. So, I don't hate all Suicune. I hate this Suicune. So that's why it's the lowest place on this list. I really wanted to vent about this, so that is why it is here. Number 9, Zapdos.
Okay.
In the very well-known game, Pokemon Go, Team Mystic and Team Valor are far more popular than the third team option of Team Instinct. Now, there's a variety of reasons for why this could be the case. The first is that maybe blue and red are just better light colors than yellow. Okay.
No, they're not. Yellow is way better than blue and red. I must say that for sure. I think yellow just has a better color. Orange is my favorite color, so yeah. Screw that.
Could see that. Another possible option is that their names of, Mystic or Valor are just more interesting than the name of Instinct. Or it could be because Articuno and Moltres are majestic, awesome elemental power birds.
Nope.
While
Moltres isn't. Moltres just looks like a giant floating fiery chicken. I don't like Moltres. Articuno looks good though. Like, I love Articuno. Articuno is one of my favorite legendaries and my favorite ice type of all time. It's actually might be tied with Regice. Like, it's tied with Regice. But yeah, like, Moltres just looks stupid. I don't like it. And if y'all don't go in the chat, y'all, saying that Galar Articuno is better than regular Articuno. For all those people that think that, screw you.
Zapdos looks like a toddler with a pair of scissors got way too excited with some yellow construction paper. Listen, guys, I love the electric type. It is my favorite type, and Zapdos, I do admit, is the strongest Pokemon in regards to competitive battling compared to the other legendary birds.
Yep.
But
it is.
That doesn't change the fact that this thing looks ridiculous. The big spiky wings look really awkward and rigid, especially when he flaps them in its 3D model, and the tiny eyes and really thin beak on such a fanned out face just looks very silly to me. I definitely think they could have designed a much cooler looking
I mean, I never minded that about Zapdos. I honestly kind of like Zapdos. Oh man, I wonder what Michael's reaction would have been when he saw Galar Zapdos. That stupid baby chicken with rooster legs. Oh, it's disgusting.
Bird, maybe a more cartoony version of this drawing here. Its shiny is also virtually indistinguishable from its regular coloring.
Like, look at that.
I'm actually pretty sure in Pokemon Go, they're still using its shiny model in the games. It's just barely anyone's noticed because they look the same. I will admit Articuno's is very close as well, but Zapdos's is definitely a lot closer. Because of its goofy looks, Zapdos will always be my least favorite legendary bird, while Moltres will always be my favorite.
What? Okay. I can see why Zapdos is your least favorite. Why is Moltres your favorite? Moltres is not a phoenix, it's a flying fiery chicken who got burned in the oven too long and didn't cook. That's what Moltres is. Like, seriously, I don't like Moltres. Its Galar form is so much better.
Number 8. Heatran.
Yes, sir.
Heatran is an extremely derpy Pokemon and some seriously wasted potential on such a cool design premise. I mean, come on. It's a fire steel type, the first one ever that dwells deep in volcanic caves. That sounds really awesome.
Yeah, until you see it.
But then you look at it, and it looks like a rotten papaya with legs.
No, it looks like a frog.
Seriously, they could have done so much better. They could have made something like this terrifyingly badass lava monster here. Or if they wanted to stick with the wall-crawling type design, they could have made its body smaller and its legs a lot longer. Kind of like this robot spider here, except it obviously wouldn't be a robot. Either one of these body types would have made a lot more sense and would have made it look a lot more fearsome and cool. However, I think Heatran's biggest problem is its face. Legendaries are supposed to be either very cute and friendly or very fearsome and powerful looking. But this thing's mouth looks like a really crappy rapper got a very budget grill. And it looks ridiculous.
He did, yeah.
Seriously, just replace that mouth with something that looks a lot more fearsome, and it's gonna be a much better Pokemon just with that simple change. But since Heatran is stuck the way it is now, I'm never going to be a very big fan of it.
Never.
It is just
Don't
too
be a fan of it.
awkward looking and some massively wasted potential
on
what could have been an incredibly cool legendary Pokemon of the volcanoes.
Yep.
Number 7, Kyurem. Reshiram and Zekrom have pretty different designs.
I'm gonna have to agree with you here. Kyurem just looks like a giraffe dragon that was just frozen solid, in my honest opinion. It looks a lot better fused with Reshiram and Zekrom, Like, I love white Kyurem, but Kyurem just by itself looks extremely derpy.
From most Pokemon, but I like them. I really like the just all one color type design, plus the way their tails light up when they're powering up looks really cool. However, Kyurem in comparison is way more lame. It just doesn't look as fearsome and just kind of looks incomplete. I do realize that it's supposed to be incomplete. That's like a central focus of its design, but that doesn't change the fact that it doesn't look as cool. Its fusion forms are what I really don't like about it, though. I love Black 2 and White 2, and the idea of Pokemon fusion was something that really intrigued me when I first heard about it. But then these are the fusions. These are abominations.
Okay. You need to cut this crap right now. Those fusions look really good. Like, I really like White Kyurem. Like, look, especially with that flamelet, it looks really cool. Black Kyurem is really cool too, in my honest opinion. Like, honestly, if you look at that, guys, do you like these? I'm sorry. Do you like these guys? Like, seriously. Do you think Michael has the right to insult these things? Yeah, put that in the comments below. Like, seriously.
I would have much preferred some cleaner looking fusions, you know, ones that were more symmetrical and not just have part of a dragon's face coming out of it like this and it's just looking really weird. I know it's supposed to be an incomplete fusion because you need all three to recreate the true original dragon, but at the same time, I just really wish these things weren't just such a hot mess.
They aren't.
Cold
They're
mess.
great. I like them a lot.
Technically. Well, for Black Kyurem, it's a cold mess. White Kyurem is still kind of a hot mess because it's fired.
Whatever. I don't.
Number 6, Magearna. I would like to take this opportunity to take a stroll down memory lane with you lovely people and take a look at the first Pokemon revealed for each generation prior to the generation being released. Gen 2 was Ho-Oh in the anime, a very awesome legendary bird.
Oh yeah, Ho-Oh.
Good call. Gen 3.
You see, MandJTV calls Moltres the true phoenix. Ho-Oh is the true phoenix. Moltres is the true fiery baby chicken.
Was Kecleon. Not the coolest Pokemon out there, but it's a respectable lizard. I think it's fine.
Definitely.
Gen 4 was Munchlax, a cute new pre-evolution of a beloved Gen 1 Pokemon. Pretty solid decision. Gen 5, Zoroark, the very badass
Zoroark.
illusion fox. Very cool. Gen 6, the starters and the box art legendaries.
Yeah.
You can never really go wrong with that. And then Gen 7, this strange robot ballerina that looks just like some recreation of Diancie and left everybody really confused.
Yeah, it's called Ballora. Yo, this thing is like Ballora resurrected.
What? Of all the cool Generation 7 Pokemon to pick from, the first one you reveal is the mythical Pokemon that looks way too similar to another mythical Pokemon from the generation just prior?
Oh yeah.
What are you thinking?
I never really thought about how it really looks like Diancie.
And if you like, okay guys, we have to have a mythical Pokemon because this movie we're gonna make, then do Marshadow. Marshadow is adorable and awesome. Magearna is just a robot ballerina. Essentially the big...
Oh yeah, shout out to Marshadow, by the way. I absolutely love Marshadow. He's my favorite mythical, and he's one of my top 5 favorite Pokemon.
The reason I don't like Magearna is because it was an odd and, in my opinion, unworthy Pokemon to be our first taste of Generation 7. It's just... it's so freaking lame. And also, its movie was terrible. Number 5, Regigigas.
Oh,
the Regis are not my...
So, Regigigas, I just find okay. I mean, I absolutely love the Regis, but Regigigas is definitely the worst one out of the Regis, no doubt. But I've enjoyed using him in competitive, though.
Favorite, but they are from Hoenn, and since I'm extremely biased toward anything coming from the Hoenn region, they get a pass here. Besides, the quest to find them in the Hoenn games is really interesting and creative and mystical and makes me feel like Indiana Jones. Plus, their cries in the Lucario movie are incredible.
Yeah.
But Regigigas is a serious letdown compared to the original Regis.
Yeah.
I like the idea of the Regis having a leader that controls all three of them, but I thought it would be something that encompassed all of their design aspects, the steel, the rock, and the ice. Not just a white blob with tatted arms, gold bling, and some bushes. Plus, honestly, guys, Regigigas is a joke. It is the leader of a legendary trio, and its ability is slow start.
Yeah, worst ability ever.
How is the leader of a legendary trio so incompetent? Get it together, man.
Yep. Totally agreeable. Totally agreeable. I wish it wasn't as bad.
Just really think they could have done something so much better with.
Instead of False Swipe Gaming naming Regigigas' video How Good Was Regigigas Actually, they named it How Bad Was Regigigas Actually. Probably very bad, I must say.
Regigigas, but instead we have this. Although I will say, its primal form in the Pokemon Insurgence fan game, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's what they deserve to make them look like.
Number 4, Tornadus.
Oh,
I
yeah.
have always disliked the fact that Pokemon based primarily on birds with no other attributes such as fire or darkness that could be attributed to another type were normal flying type Pokemon.
Yep.
That's stupid. Why is the normal type there? Oh, because they're normal birds? No! Normal type is for normal animals with normal attributes that no other type really describes.
Yep,
If
that's
it's
true.
a Pidgey, it is something that can fly. Flying type is a type that describes it. They're not normal anymore if they can freaking fly. So
that makes
imagine
sense.
how insulted I was when the first ever, and still the only one to this day, pure flying type Pokemon is a buff green man with a bad mustache sitting in a cloud.
Okay, I can actually agree with you there. That's actually really funny because it's so true. Like, honestly, he's the only pure flying type. It's just pretty much muscular Yoda.
I get that they have interesting origins based on some Japanese myth or whatever. True Green 7's discussed it at length, and he said that makes him like him more because they have cool origins, but he cares a lot more about a Pokemon's origins than me. I just want him to look cool, and Tornadus definitely does not. Also, 2 more quick things that make me dislike it. Its Therian form, while better, still looks pretty derpy, and its shiny is virtually indistinguishable
Very
from the
informed,
normal
that's what
one, and that's always a bad thing. Number 3,
what's number 3?
Meloetta. I
Really?
don't like Meloetta because it's boring and it doesn't make sense.
That would make sense, I guess.
Why is this...
But I will say, you better not, like, put that in front of, like, a bunch of other people, because there are some people that love Meloetta. Like, I know a friend who really likes Meloetta, and I'll bet a few of you watching really like this Pokemon, too. And you'll probably be wondering, like, what? This guy's an idiot! And I'm just thinking, well, I was never the biggest fan of Meloetta. I just don't mind Meloetta. Let's see what Michael has to say.
mythical, mystical, supposedly ancient Pokemon, just a cartoon girl with a Britney Spears head mic slapped on her face and hair that's literally music staves, something that people came up with.
Yeah.
That doesn't make any sense. I just think its design is really boring and lame, but the biggest reason I hate it is because of its arc in the black and white anime. I watched that entire arc.
So funny story, I almost watched the full black and white arc. I got really close as a kid, and I really liked that show, but now when I look back at it, I was like, oh gosh, this show sucks.
This day, I don't know why. It was so bad, but every time I see Meloetta, I'm reminded of how terrible the black and white anime was. Kind of like I hate Axew, even though I love Haxorus.
Yeah,
because
pretty much.
Iris
Yeah, that makes
and
sense.
her stupid
Haxorus is
Axew
awesome.
were just incredibly annoying. So if it's a Pokemon that reminds me of that anime, I'm not gonna like it very much.
Makes sense.
Number 2.
What's number 2?
Landorus.
Yeah,
As
yeah,
you
get that
probably
one.
inferred from the fact that this is the second one of them on this list, I am not a big fan of the legendary genies. No matter how interesting
That's what
their
they're called,
origins
legendary
may
genies.
be,
That's the name of that
they're
too.
still just buff men with bad mustaches and hairstyles coming out of clouds with weird tail things that don't make sense.
Yeah, they're the worst legendary trio of all time. I will agree to that. I think Thundurus is the best one, and Landorus is obviously the worst one. Like, Landorus sucks so hard.
They're just weird. Tornadus was number 4, Landorus is this entry, and Thundurus is not on this list because I dislike him least of the 3 for his electric typing and pretty cool looking Therian
Yeah, I
form.
really like
I still don't know what animal it's supposed to be, but you know, it looks pretty cool. Also, come on, if 3 entries on this list were all 3 of the genies, that would be too much.
Yeah.
2's already pushed.
That's true.
Landorus is my least favorite of the 3, though.
My least favorite,
Obviously,
too.
I
One of my
dislike
least favorite
it because
legendaries
of
of
its
all time. He
normal
might be my least
appearance,
favorite legendary.
but there are 2 big reasons why I dislike it more than the other 2. The first is that his Therian form looks weird. I love the
Extremely.
idea
Looks
of
like
a
a dog.
perpetually floating, flying tiger creature, but Landorus Therian looks so bad because his face looks too much like the original. Tornadus and
that's
Thundurus's Therian forms have their faces changed quite a bit to look more like the animal they've become. It's not drastic, but they look more like animals, which
Definitely.
I like. However, Landorus Therian form's face, while it has clearly changed from the incarnate form, doesn't change to look more like
his entire head and face stays almost exactly the same. Like, seriously. It's amazing how this is such a popular Pokemon to use in competitive, and yet it looks so stupid.
cat. It just looks like a different man face with a bad haircut plopped on the front of a cat. It looks ridiculous.
Ah.
And the second reason I dislike it is because of its prevalence in VGC. I was really into VGC back in the 2014 season where only Kalos Pokedex Pokemon were allowed. However, in VGC 15 that expanded to a lot more Pokemon, and Landorus Therian was everywhere.
Yeah,
you
seriously,
either had
it's
to
everywhere.
prepare for it exactly, figure out how to use it yourself, or both. And always having to think about one Pokemon in particular just really sucked the fun out of it for me. Like I said, I don't like any of the genies,
Yup.
but Landorus has personally offended me when the others have not,
Yup.
earning it the number
Yup,
2
definitely.
spot on this list. Number
I wonder what number 1's gonna be. Like, seriously. I mean, Landorus is like the legendary he's talked about the most being really awful. So, I mean, I wonder what he's gonna pick for number 1. Let's see what he picks.
1, Hoopa.
Oh,
I
yeah,
do not
Hoopa.
watch the Pokemon anime anymore. I have grown out.
Yeah, Hoopa. That movie I've heard is so bad. I am not even going to watch it. And Hoopa's design looks super awful. Like, I don't like Hoopa, like, at all.
Even though the voice actors changed anymore. I have grown out of its childish plot lines, and I never really got accustomed to the new voice actors. Me saying new voice actors, even though the voice actors changed 12 years ago.
Yep.
Yes, I feel old now too. However, periodically my girlfriend Jubilee and I will take a look at some of the newer Pokemon anime creations, particularly the movies, and then I'm reminded why I don't watch it anymore.
Yep, Hoopa.
Because they're bad. Pokemon
Yeah.
the movie, I Choose You, it was meh. Volcanion and the Mechanical Marvel, not very good. Didn't
Yep.
really enjoy it. Hoopa and the Clash of
Oh
Ages,
my gosh,
dear
no.
God, this movie was a flaming hot pile of garbodor in the
Yup, definitely. Most definitely. Like, seriously. I've heard so many bad things.
worst possible way. Was it cool seeing all of those legendary Pokemon battling it out in one place? Yeah, sure. But that did not make up for the fact that that movie's main focus was one of the most annoying, infuriating Pokemon to ever appear on television. Hoopa. Ale Hoopa ring. Shut the f*** up. It only talked in third person, continued to talk like an idiot in its giant beast form, and even though it's a centuries-old Pokemon smart enough to speak, it was still an idiot. I hated that movie and the Hoopa in that movie so much that it has become my least favorite legendary Pokemon. Most Pokemon on this list are here because I think their designs are just lame or stupid. But Hoopa has made me want to pull my hair out every time I remember
It's
that
annoying.
freaking
It's so
movie.
annoying.
And so that is why I will always dislike it. Because its movie was just absolute trash. So there we have it. Those are my top 10 worst legendary Pokemon. If you happen to love any of the...
So yeah, guys, that is the video. I'm so glad I was able to react to this video. Like, such an interesting video. And yeah, I'd say he has a reasonable list. I mean, I would say Zapdos is a little more higher up for me. But besides that, I'd say he's got a reasonable list. Okay, thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and turn on that notification bell so you don't